Hey everybody, thanks for joining me again. I want to take some time again to walk through another Bible story in a new way, trying to encourage you parents out there who are trying to raise your kids for Jesus, giving you one more tool to think about on that journey with them. So today what I want to do is I want to talk about the book of Ruth, and specifically a relationship within that book. And not the one between Ruth and Boaz, but rather the one between Ruth and Naomi. And so I've got a timer here, and we're going to go for 2 minutes again, and let's just see where this goes. The book of Ruth actually takes place during the time of the Judges, so there's a lot of chaos happening in the time of Israel in this book. There's a famine in the land, and so Naomi and her husband Elimelech, they actually leave Israel, and they go to Moab to find food. That's sad. That's a sad thing. In Moab, Elimelech dies. That's sad. The boys, they go on to marry Moabite women. And I guess during that time, then there's happiness. But then the boys die. That's tragic and sad again. And after all of this sadness, then we get to this part where they hear that there is food again in Israel. So Naomi decides to head back home. Who follows her? Her 2 daughters-in-law. Then she realizes this isn't a good plan, so she tries to convince them to go back home. One of them goes home, but one, Ruth, stays with her. She clings to Naomi. She's determined to go with her. No matter what Naomi says to convince her otherwise, Ruth stays with her. And I began to wonder, why is that? But it's interesting what Ruth says. When Naomi's trying to convince her to leave, Ruth looks at her and says, I want what you have. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. It's like Ruth is looking at Naomi and saying, I want your worldview. I have seen the way you see the world, and I want what you have. And it's fascinating because all Ruth has really seen of Naomi is tears and grief. And I wondered about that. When we're trying to raise our kids for Jesus, sometimes the temptation is to just sugarcoat everything and make it all look nice and pretty and easy. Naomi didn't do that. Her life was filled with bitterness. That was the word she used to describe it. And yet, Ruth still wanted what she had. And I want to encourage us as parents that sometimes life is tough, and we got to share our faith with our kids during the tough times. So when they see that, they want what we have, and that's more of Jesus. That's my time. Thanks for joining me. Hope you guys feel encouraged. Have a good night.